I'm Larry Fedoruk, and this is my current storytelling podcast. Later That Same Life, the further adventures of Larry Fedoruk. More true stories. Let's get right to this week's episode.
Season 1, Chapter 4, The Wreck of the Pontiac Laurentian.
This fabled yarn has already been spun in the famous song by Gordon Lightfoot, the big hit, you know it, The Wreck of the Pontiac Laurentian. Yeah, I know, we all know the song, could probably sing it word for word. The legend lives on in each Saskatchewan town, to the big place they call Saskatoon. The car, it is said, ended up dead, and the future of Larry looked gloomy. How does that second verse go? Larry called Dad. The news, it was sad. It was something he'd rather not mention. Without permission, he cranked the ignition. Then came the wreck of the Pontiac Laurentian. Yeah, that Lightfoot, he sure could pen those tunes. But this is the real story of the wreck of the Pontiac Laurentian. Our family Pontiac Laurentian was white, four-door sedan, six-cylinder block engine. We called it a six-banger. 2-speed automatic, and a trunk that could comfortably sleep 3. Remember those big trunks? We'd had it a bit, but it still felt like our new car because we'd had our previous Pontiac Strato Chief for so long. And Pontiac hadn't really changed the design drastically for many years, so it still looked newish and modern. Also around the time, the phrase, "You got it, Pontiac," was in vogue. Remember the ads?
Want to see something really exciting?
It became the phrase people used to answer just about any question. Going to the movies this weekend? You got it, Pontiac. Do we get paid on Friday? Is that a new shirt? Did the Habs win last night? You got it, Pontiac. Oh my goodness. Can't you just say yes? The Pontiac Laurentian. Would I get my driver's license with that car? You got it.
You got it, Pontiac.
Getting a driver's license was a huge rite of passage for us. Not the first generation who felt this way, and not the last, but I sometimes wonder if a generation for whom a driver's license means nothing has already been born. We are being told the future is in autonomous vehicles, self-driving cars. Computers run them. And who understands computers? Kids. Dad, can I have the autonomous car tonight? Hey, you're only 7. How many times do I have to tell you? You can't have the car until you're 8. Why are so many of the big money tech groups perfecting this technology? Were we clamoring for self-driving cars? I don't think so. I've dreamed of flying cars since I was a kid, but not self-driving. What good is that? Remember when you were a kid at the carnival going on the car ride, steering carefully in a circle so that the car doesn't drive off the turntable? And then you got older and you realized the steering wheel did nothing. The car was driving you. You didn't want to go on that ride anymore, did you? No, too lame. I want to drive a car, not go on some high-tech future carnival ride. Driving a car. It was the focus of much of my childhood and of most of the kids I knew. Everything else, starting school, birthdays, Christmases, friends, that was all just killing time until you were old enough to drive a car. Driver's license. That will be so sweet. And it's not like you had anywhere to go. Where are you going? Where are you going to drive? Nowhere. Just drive around. Driving a car. Driving around. Growing up in a small prairie town, most kids drove well before they were 16, especially the farm kids. As I was about to turn 16, I was already a good driver, but our family packed the Pontiac Laurentian and moved to the big city. In the city, you couldn't just drive underage like you could in farm country. But like most kids, you had a plan. Take the written test at age 15, get your learner's permit, then on your 16th birthday, take the actual road test, get the license, drive around. Didn't work. Like I said, we just moved. New house, new city, new school, new everything. Didn't even know where I was supposed to go to get the learner's permit. Happy 16th birthday, Larry. No driving around. But finally got the book, studied it, took the written test, and passed. Meanwhile, at my new city high school, they were offering a course, something called Driver's Ed. What? You learn how to drive from a high school teacher? Yeah, they have a special car with 2 steering wheels, 2 everything. Do they teach you how to drive with one hand and the other arm out the window with the hand on the roof? Fingers keeping time with the song on the radio? No. Do they teach you how to drive while having a hamburger and a Coke? In a pre-cup holder world? No. Stupid. I ain't taking no driver's ed. I should probably be teaching that course. So I missed getting my driver's license on my 16th birthday. But at the first eligible date, I made the appointment for the road test. You went downtown to the motor vehicle office. The guy directed you around downtown for about 20 minutes. You got your driver's license. All the kids in the city knew the word was out. Beware of that stop sign on that little street near the off-ramp. It's partially hidden. Don't run that stop sign. That's a traffic violation. Any traffic violation on your road test is an automatic fail. Okay, got it. No one is going to trick Larry. Well, the sneaky motor vehicle guy took you around the block, different angle, didn't even realize I was on the street with the partially hidden stop sign. Ran right through it. Fail. Damn, I had already hyped my friends. Driver's license tomorrow, we can drive around. Now I had to admit I had failed. No self-respecting macho high school boy fails a driver's test. I did. Waited the 2 weeks, booked the next road test, different guy, same side street, same stop sign, full stop, nice try. Some good driving, now just parallel park. I know how to do that. But not that day, for some reason. I just couldn't seem to angle the behemoth into the spot. When I hit the mailbox, he failed me. You think it was tough admitting to your friends that you failed a driving test? Try telling them you failed again. Well, there's always a third time, but what if I fail yet again? I'll have to quit school, leave town, get cosmetic surgery, and change my identity. Mother, father, family. I must leave you now. Don't know where I'll end up, but it will be by bus. I was so apprehensive, but booked that third road test. Side street, full stop, sloppy right turn, some iffy parallel parking, but I didn't hit anything. The guy looked at me at the end and said, I understand this is your third time. Yes. Well, good news. I'm giving you your driver's license. And then he actually said this. Half on your driving and half on good attendance. And he laughed like an asshole. Must have been their go-to inside motor vehicle department joke. How long you been holding on to that one, you passive-aggressive weaselhead? I didn't say that. I just said, thank you. Hey, Dad, got my license. Can I have the car on Saturday night? What do you need the car for? Again, purpose, destination, intent. 0. Want to drive around. Well, there's this party at Gord's, and Lou has to go, and he's only 15, so he needs a ride. Judy might be there, and then, well, how am I going to get to work and back? Dad was a bartender, worked like 4 to midnight on Saturday. Well, I'll drive you and pick you up afterward, please. Well, okay. And then my dad said a line I would hear for years to come every time I asked for the car. You can have the car, but don't burn gas. What Dad meant was don't burn all the gas, or try and come up with some of your own gas money once in a while. But he never said that. He would only say, don't burn gas. You bet, Dad. Thanks for the car. We'll pop it in neutral and just push it around town. We'll make sure to coast down hills. My friend and neighbor Lou came over. We drove Dad to work and then drove around. I was pulling onto the main drag, left lane, left turn at the lights. Lights green. Pull out a bit, waiting for the through traffic. Light turns amber, still some through traffic. Light turns red. Guy behind me honks. I panic. I proceed on my left turn. Bam! A car hits the Pontiac passenger door, sends Lou almost onto my lap. The Laurentian momentum leaves us through the intersection, pulled over on the side street. Oh, crap. I've had my driver's license, 4 days? I've smashed up the family car. You okay, Lou? Yes, everyone is fine. Cops come, charge the other guy with running a red light. His fault. Now, even though a driver more experienced than myself would not have been intimidated by a horn honk and would have made sure the through traffic had stopped before I proceeded through the intersection. I didn't, but deemed the other guy's fault. He was charged. Okay, Lou, at midnight, you're coming with me to pick up my dad, because he won't kill me in front of witnesses. And then when we get home, I'll just make a run for it. Midnight, behind the hotel. Hi, Dad. Here to pick you up like I said I would. Oh, don't go around to the passenger door. It doesn't work. It got smashed by another car. Anyway, how was work? When we got home, well, Dad, I'm going over to Lou's. No, you're not. Lou, go home. Oh, I was in trouble. As Dad reminded me, he had driven a car since he was a little kid, never so much as a scratch. The only thing that saved me a bit was that the other guy was charged. Really not my fault. Kinda, but not. Things quieted down after a while. About 10 days later, I was writing finals for the first semester. Did my English Lit exam in the morning, aced it, went home for lunch. Car in the driveway, no one home. Well, I guess Dad was working a day shift and took the bus. How did Mom get to school? Oh, who knows? Who cares? Hey, I could take the car, pop over to the mall for lunch, drive around a bit, drop the car back home, then go write my algebra final at 1:30. No one would be the wiser. Excellent idea. Everything was going according to plan. Now time to get the car home. Just zip out into this unmarked intersection. I seem to have caught a patch of ice here, and what is that barreling down upon me but another speeding car? He has also hit some ice and is unable to stop. Smash! High impact smash! Pushed me and the Laurentian deep into a high snowbank and bent the Pontiac into a lovely V shape. Glass everywhere. Cops show up, charge the other guy with speeding and dangerous driving based on road conditions. Again, a more experienced driver than I would have gauged the road conditions in a better way, noticed the other car at a high rate of speed, maybe not pulled out into the intersection at all. But according to law enforcement, his fault. The second I realized that car was going to hit me is like a freeze frame in my mind. I can picture it still. I can picture it now. I looked at this car about to hit me. It was a man driving. Short hair, suit and tie. Passenger, a woman, holding a baby in her arms. Found out later he was a teacher at a nearby high school, not mine. bringing his wife and newborn daughter home from the hospital. And in the day, I guess that's the way it was done. Front seat, babe in arms, possibly no one wearing seatbelts. Everyone was okay, including me. Mostly. After it all, it was pretty much time for me to go write that algebra final, so I walked to my Catholic high school, used the payphone, interrupting Dad at work. Well, this better be important.
Hey, Dad. I used the car at lunchtime without permission. And if you don't like that, well, here's a funny story.
He was livid. I don't think he even asked if I was okay. I told him the intersection where the car was off to the side, plugged into a big snowbank. Dad had to take time off work, get a tow truck, etc. I walked into the school office and said, "Hey, I'm late for my algebra final because I just had a major car wreck. Here's the police papers as evidence. I wonder if I could get an exemption or maybe write the exam another time because, well, were you hurt?" "Well, no, not really. It's just that, Well, hold on. They came back 2 minutes later. "Well, you seem okay, so go write the final. We'll tell the supervisor to give you an extra 10 minutes past time." "Well, thank you, Sister Insensitivia, and a happy Catholic to you as well." During the exam, I found pieces of glass in my hair and in the cuffs of my pants. In removing them, my finger was cut and bled on the exam paper. I was good in algebra. I should have nailed the test. I think I ended up with a low C. While calculating the equations, I was also calculating the amount of crap I was in with Mom and Dad. Perhaps this was the time to quit school, leave town, change my identity. Mom and her dad were not happy. But again, here's what saved me from a total freakout. When Dad got the car towed to the insurance assessment place, they A, told him the car was a write-off, and B, when they found out his son was driving, told him that it was a miracle I wasn't killed, or at the very least in hospital in serious condition. "No, hell no, he's at school riding the El Zebra." The other guy was charged, and I could have been killed. Those two factors made it more of a moment of reflection rather than one of beatings and floggings. There was still the matter of taking the car without permission, so I was grounded and all that. That was the wreck of the Pontiac Laurentian. In less than 2 weeks after obtaining the coveted driver's license, I had had 2 separate car accidents, a fender bender and totaling the family car, and somehow got away with no charges and no loss of limb or life to anyone involved. Within weeks, we got a brand new Pontiac Laurentian, a green one, but it would be months before I was allowed to drive it, and when I did, I never took it without asking. I became a very cautious, defensive driver. This was driver's ed from the School of Hard Knocks. Months later, Dad was coming home from work at midnight, T-boned in an intersection. He was okay, but that Laurentian also written off. I think it was only after that Dad truly forgave me. All Pontiac's gone, but the legend lives on. A story of strife and of tension. He took the car, though he didn't go far. It was the wreck of the family Laurentian.
Later That Same Life, from Larry Fedoruk. Check out the Later That Same Life YouTube channel and Larry's previous storytelling podcast series, I Was 8.
Dun, 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 dun.